Joyce Laboso died from colon cancer on 29 July 2019 at the age of 58, while receiving treatment in the intensive care unit at Nairobi Hospital. Her death marked the end of a long and private 28-year battle with the disease, one she had first been diagnosed with in 1991 and fought quietly even as she rose to the highest levels of leadership in Kenya. In the months leading up to her death, her illness had returned aggressively in early 2019. She sought specialized treatment abroad in both the United Kingdom and India, but her condition worsened upon her return to Kenya. Throughout this period, she maintained a level of privacy about her health, choosing not to publicly disclose the severity of her condition, a decision that later drew both admiration and criticism from the public. Joyce Laboso's life, however, was defined by far more than her illness. She was a trailblazer, a woman who broke barriers in both academia and politics. Born on 25 November 1960 in Kimulat, Kanoin, in Kericho district, she grew up in a family that valued education, discipline, and public service. Her father, Frederick Laboso, was a tea farmer, while her mother, Rebecca Laboso, was not only a farmer but also a local councillor, whose involvement in leadership would later influence Joyce's own political path. She was raised alongside 5 siblings, including her younger sister Lorna Laboso, whose tragic death in a 2008 plane crash would become a turning point in Joyce's life. It was this loss that ultimately drew her into politics, as she stepped forward to continue her sister's legacy. Before entering public office, Joyce Laboso built a distinguished academic career. She attended primary schools in Kamijayat, Kaplong, and Molo before proceeding to Kaplong Girls Secondary School and later Kenya High School for her A-level education. Her academic excellence earned her a place at Kenyatta University, where she pursued a bachelor's degree in literature and French between 1980 and 1983. Her thirst for knowledge led her abroad. She obtained a postgraduate diploma in teaching French from the University of Paul Valéry in Montpellier, France, followed by a master's degree in teaching English as a foreign language from the University of Reading in the UK. She later crowned her academic journey with a PhD in gender and language education from the University of Hull, where her research focused on the challenges affecting boys' performance in English in Kenyan schools. For over 2 decades, she dedicated her life to education. She began as a teacher at Kipsigis Girls High School before joining Egerton University as a lecturer in 1990. There, she rose through the ranks, serving not only as a lecturer in the Department of Language and Linguistics, but also taking on administrative roles such as Assistant Dean of Students. Her time in academia also included international experience in the UK, where she worked while completing her doctoral studies. Her transition into politics came in 2008 after the death of her sister. She successfully contested the Sodik parliamentary seat in a by-election and was later re-elected in 2013. During her time in Parliament, she made history in 2013 by becoming Kenya's first female Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, a position that cemented her place as a pioneer for women in leadership. In 2017, she broke yet another barrier when she was elected as the first female governor of Bomet County, defeating incumbent Isaac Ruto. Her victory placed her among the first 3 women to ever be elected governors in Kenya. Despite her achievements, her political journey was not without controversy. One of the most significant challenges she faced was during the 2017 gubernatorial race, where her marriage to Edwin Abonyo, a Luo from Kisumu, became a political issue. Opponents questioned her identity and loyalty, arguing that she did not belong to the Kalenjin-dominated region she sought to lead. In response, she reportedly dropped her husband's surname, Abonyo, in political contexts to reinforce her connection to her roots. Her personal life reflected both strength and resilience. She married Edwin Abonyo in 1983, and together they had 3 sons, Brian, Ted, and Marco. Following her sister Lorna's death, Joyce also took in and raised her nephew as her own child, further highlighting her deep sense of family responsibility. Her husband remained a constant pillar of support throughout her long illness, standing by her during her treatment journeys abroad and her final days. Their interethnic marriage, though once a source of political attack, ultimately stood as a symbol of unity and perseverance. After her death, her legacy was briefly overshadowed by a legal dispute over her estate, estimated at around Kenya shillings 100 million. The conflict, primarily between her husband and her siblings, centered on the ownership of certain properties and whether they were personal or ancestral assets. Although tensions arose, efforts were later made to resolve the matter amicably. Joyce Laboso's story is one of quiet strength, intellectual excellence, and groundbreaking leadership. From the lecture halls of Egerton University to the political arena of Bomet County, she carried herself with dignity and determination. Even in illness, she chose service over sympathy, continuing to lead while fighting a battle many never saw. In the end, her legacy remains firmly rooted in the paths she opened for women, for scholars, and for future leaders in Kenya.